Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. In today's video I'm very excited. I'm going to be doing a full day wear test. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into comparing two different grippy primers. So this is the new collection Power Hold Gripping Gel Primer. I got this one recently. I have tried it once but I haven't worn it for any length of time to do like an actual wear test to see how it actually makes my makeup last any longer. And then I've got the E.L.F Power Grip Primer, which obviously is still in its box. I haven't ever tried this one. I am the last person on the planet to be trying this grippy primer. So I'm going to be doing one side of my face with one side of my face with the other, and then coming back in around about 12 hours to see how we're looking, to see if one of them is better than the other, or if you can save yourself a little bit of money by getting the collection one, because this one is slightly cheaper, but this one has so much hype online. Let's see if it lives up to that. So the collection primer, this one is 28 milliliters of product, and this one retails for $7.99. Now obviously it goes without saying a lot of these like cosmetics are often on some sort of an offer, so generally you can get them a little bit cheaper, which you can with the E.L.F one. This is 24 milliliters of product and this retails for £10, but for the longest time this has been on a Boots offer and you can get it for £7.50. So I will link the Boots website down below because that's where it's been on offer for honestly about 6 months. So let me just do a pump next to each other on the back of my hand, because the collection one, when I used it a couple of days ago, it had like a green colour to the gel, so I want to see if the E.L.F one does too, because it says on it that the E.L.F one is clear, but obviously like the packaging is inspired, let's say. Okay, so the E.L.F one is also a little bit coloured. That's the E.L.F one that's running down my hand. That's interesting. So they are quite different in texture. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that E.L.F one to be quite so runny. I will just wipe those off the back of my hand before I get that all over myself. So I'm going to start with the collection one because, like I said, I've already tried this one before. I'm going to take a little bit less than a whole pump because obviously I'm only doing half my face, and I'll do this side for the collection one. What I found interesting with the collection one is that it felt as though it was tightening on my skin. Like as it dried, I felt as though like the wrinkles and things on my forehead, I felt as though my skin was tighter, so those were like full, like I couldn't see them as much. Now it's not going to be a scientific sort of side-by-side experiment on my forehead because I do have, I can't remember the name of it, but I do have a bump on my forehead, so this side is naturally fuller, naturally less sort of wrinkly when I raise my eyebrows, but that is that one all over. I do feel like I'm still getting that sort of tightening feeling, and I don't know if you can tell when I like move my forehead there. Like I say, it's not a complete fair test there, but I'm interested to see if the E.L.F one has that sort of tight feeling as well. It's not a bad feeling, it's just I wasn't necessarily expecting it. So I'm going to use my other hand, try and get around about the same amount of the E.L.F one, and it's very much runnier. It feels as though this one is sort of spreading further, spreading across my skin easier. I suppose that's from the more liquidy texture, but that is that. So this side's had about 30 seconds. Can you see? I just don't feel like it's all that sticky. Like it is a little bit, but you know, I see videos of people like sticking things to their face and I'm not sure I would be able to stick anything. but that side even less so. That doesn't really feel sticky at all, like a little bit. But now I feel like the collection side is definitely more grippy, which I was not expecting. I was expecting to put this E.L.F. one on and be like, it's the most sticky, grippy primer, but I definitely have ones in my collection that I feel are grippier than this without claiming that they are a grippy primer. Okay, so both sides look exactly the same at this stage, which obviously it's a clear primer. I'm not really noticing very much difference between the two. I am really confused. Let me get something. Okay, so I've got this piece of cardboard that I got some hair grips on. Yes, it does stick, but that's not going to stick for a very long time. It's, that's a really strange one. That side is definitely grippier on, you know, the cardboard. So, I am not sure at this stage what I think of those. I'm going to go off and do the rest of my makeup. So the time is now 7:32 in the morning. I am going to go off, do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll be back for like another little, you know, another little review. Okay, so that is my full face done. If you want to know all of these products, I will leave it down below. But I haven't noticed at this stage a great deal of difference between either side. They're both looking pretty much the same. They are both, like, everything applied the same on both sides. I was wondering if my foundation, which is the XX Revolution Skin Blur one, the new one, I was wondering if I would maybe get a little bit more coverage from that, with it sort of gripping and spreading out a little bit less. I can't say that I have noticed a difference in the level of coverage. It looks sort of the same as it always does, but maybe just a little bit more, I don't want to say smooth, but like it's sort of like laid on my skin really nicely, if that makes sense. Not that that foundation doesn't, just on a regular basis with other primers, but I do feel like it's sort of looking the same as usual. The primer isn't doing a great deal for me either way. It's not bad, it's absolutely not bad either side, but I will be interested to see how this looks by the end of the day, to see if one side has sort of stayed more. I've purposefully put quite a lot of blush on so that we can see if that has any effect, because obviously there's a few layers in between the blush and the primer, so we'll be able to see how that's looking by the end of the day. So I will see you in around about 12 hours and we'll see how all of this is looking. Okay, so it has been a whole day. Everything here is what this is looking like, and it's been more than 12 hours. It is 9:24 in the evening, so this has been more than 12 hours. It's been 14 hours-ish. I am so impressed. I didn't put any powder on this morning. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. No powder, no setting spray, which I would normally do for a full day at work. I would normally sort of powder down the centre of my face, because although I have dry skin and I sort of combat that with my skincare routine, I do get oily, you know, in my T-zone basically, on like my cheeks, in the centre of my cheeks here, across my forehead. I do get oily throughout the day, and I am looking a little bit shiny, sort of equally shiny on both sides, and so I do feel like my makeup has lasted very well. Considering I don't have any powder on, I am looking less shiny than what I thought I would, but by far, like, the standout thing for me is the intensity of the colour on my cheeks still. I feel like that blush is still popping, like it still looks so intense, and I haven't touched up anything. I haven't, like, I've literally just sat down and I haven't touched up my face at all throughout the day, which I wouldn't normally do for work. I would just let my face look how it looks, apart from the lipstick. I did just reapply a little bit of lipstick, but I am so impressed with how the colour still looks on my cheeks. I do tend to notice that my blush and bronzer can sometimes diminish through the day, and even when I apply quite a lot at the start of the day, sort of halfway through I'm like, I could, you know, if I had some, I would apply a little bit more. But even now I'm like, that is a lot of blush, which I did on purpose at the start of the day, but I do still feel like that has really, the primers have really helped to elongate the wear in like the colour products on my cheeks. I don't feel like necessarily getting any sort of length of wear with my foundation and things, because generally they do last well on me, and the one that I used this morning is one that already lasts very well on me. That's why I wear it. So I do feel like it's still looking really nice. I do feel like, considering I didn't put a powder over the top, I'm still very impressed with how the foundation and like the rest of my skin is looking. But by far, for me, it's the elongation of wear from like my bronzer and my blush, because I think that is really, really impressive. In between the two of them, the E.L.F one on this side and the collection one on this side, I'm really noticing no difference at all. Like, both sides look equal sort of at this stage. They feel equal. I mean, it's just the primer that's different. Obviously all of the skincare that went underneath was the same. So at this stage, I do feel like you could take one or the other. Obviously it's just preference. If you want that sort of cooling feeling, the collection one, like that is, somebody commented on my review video where I did like my first impression of the collection primer. Someone commented on it saying that they would enjoy that because they're going through the menopause, and I can absolutely see how that like cooling feeling would be so nice if you were getting like hot flushes and stuff. I appreciate that, you know, that is a struggle, and the cooling element of that primer might be quite nice. Obviously it doesn't last, like you don't feel cold all day. It is just sort of as you apply it, and maybe for like 5 minutes afterwards there is that sort of cold feeling on the skin. And also the tightening that I mentioned from the collection one, that doesn't necessarily last through the day. Like, where I could see that sort of tightening feeling was across my forehead, and I'm not really seeing that or feeling that anymore. But that is my review. Between the two of them, they are equal. Who'd have thought it? So if you want the cooling, then maybe the collection one. The E.L.F one is also just as grippy. Everything looks the same over the top of it. So both are great. That is all I can say on that. They're completely 100% interchangeable for me. So that is my review. Let me know, have you tried either of these primers before? What do you think of them? Do you get that like tightening feeling from the collection one? Because I'm starting to think it might just be me that feels that. But I definitely feel it. Okay, I definitely do. So let me know down below if there's any other new releases that you'd like to see reviewed on my channel here. Do let me know. I'm more than happy to get my hands on a few of them. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Millie. I post 3 times a week on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. It's always affordable and it's always cruelty free. I would love it if you would subscribe down below, just down here. It just means you'll get a little notification every time I post a new video. If you like this one, please give it a big thumbs up. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.